Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Football Manager Projects. My name's Daniel, and we are back with more action from Ingolstadt 04, where we are playing in hardcore mode. Remember, hardcore mode means there's no stars, there's no attributes, there are no crutches in this game. All we do is we look at what the scouts tell us, we look at what our coaches tell us, and we make decisions as if it were real life. And with that, we're going to look really quickly at a few developments we've had at Ingolstadt since last time. Dennis Linsmeyer, who had a good time in yesterday's game, is gone. We sold him on to Charleroi, and we got, 220,000 euro for him. And we have a couple of guys who came on for us pretty quickly. Meet Philip Fauner. Fauner is going to help us with our problem in midfield. He's 19 years old. And has a lot of potential, and our coaches and our scouts all think very, very highly of him. So we'll see how Farna is, and we may see him today. Benjamin Hemke is a very similar player. Also will play for us here in the central midfield role. We're not going to use this winger role, and comes in also with a high amount of potential, very good consistency. Operating right now at sort of the regional Liga level, but that's not going to be like that for long. And the other one of consequence is Leon Simic. Leon Simic is going to play on the right back position for us. He comes from Borussia Dortmund 2, which just happens to be the team that we're playing next. He also looks like a great player, balanced personality, pretty good personality, potential to be a Zweite Bundesliga player in the future. We'll see how it goes. Right now, we're not paying as much attention to personality as I normally like to. The reason why is because we're kind of in this position in which we need to do as much as we possibly can as a team to have a full team put in together. That is to say that these midfielder positions are the ones that I'm kind of worried about. Preisinger, for example, technically right now is the backup to Schruck in the defensive midfield. Because we still need a few more bodies here. Hertel really is the only player that we have that can play here on the left back position. So we need to bring a few more guys in. As you know, we have some problems with injuries still. Visar Musil is still out. Suleimani, who's going to play, I believe, up in either the right or left position up front, is out for a couple more days, 3 more days it looks like. And then some of our other attacking players, Ditkin and so on, are going to be longer term projects. And so, as much as I hate bringing in players who are balanced, we need players, and that's what we're going to get, and that's what we're going to use. And with that, here we go off to our pregame briefing. And we'll just tell them to do what they did last time. I like the sound of that. And here we go. Welcome to Borussia Dortmund. You're looking live at the scene from Borussia Dortmund, where we do have a crowd here of some sort. I'm not certain in real life how many people show up for the second team games for Borussia Dortmund, but looks like we have a crowd of maybe a couple thousand here today. This evening, and we'll see how this match goes. It's always kind of odd in Football Manager, at least in my opinion, playing against these second teams, especially in places like Germany, France, and so on, where you will see the second teams actually compete with first teams in sort of lower league settings. As an American coming from the land of minor league baseball, I suppose I can kind of understand this. I understand at least why teams would have second teams and what they see in this, but what I don't fully understand is why the second teams are competing together with the first ones. That doesn't make much sense to me. Preisinger now with the ball up close and had a little bit of a shot, but not very much there. We are actually going to speed this up a little bit more. That's a little bit slower than I wanted it to be. Hawkins now with the corner. Hawkins kicks it forward, and that one goes into nothing. I actually didn't adjust the corners before this match as I normally would have, but so it is. Preisinger there with very, very good steal, but he needs to, I think, learn how to pass back here to Testerud or somebody there back on the backside. But it's all right. We're still learning the tactic. We're still kind of making this up as we go. As you may have noticed, I've made some adjustments. I've made adjustments to how the visual layout of the game is. And I was playing a little bit around with the speed, trying to make sure the game wasn't too fast. I think we're at a fairly good speed right now. Simic with the ball back to Preisinger. Preisinger back out to Stevanovic. And Stevanovic back to Preisinger and to Semic again. And up to Hawkins. That's exactly what we want to see. I think he was offside, but it doesn't look like the flag went up. That's the sort of ball that we wanted to see forward, but Hawkins really didn't do anything with it. We can see here in that replay, maybe he was onside, but I mean, he's got to make a better decision than that. That was pretty bad. He has trust to it coming right down the middle, and honestly should be passing that ball off. I like what I'm seeing so far. We're still dominating possession. We're dominating the match for the most part. As long as we can keep the strong defensive line going, I think we'll be okay. But at some point in time, we might want to think about sending at least some sort of resources forward. We do need to hit the target a little bit more often. As I said yesterday, I'm really worried about Trestuit, who's, again, not playing well. We need to see something from him. He's showing up as complacent. I'm starting to wonder if it isn't potentially time to look at getting a different striker. We take off Hawkins and put on Butler. That'll be our first change, and we'll sort of see what happens when we're about 60 minutes into it. My problem with Trestuit, the media love him. He's 31 years old. The media think he's one of the best players in the division. I suppose talent-wise he might be, but yesterday and today, I'm just not seeing him do anything. I'm not seeing him actually produce anything. It's almost like he doesn't really want to be here, which is a problem that we've had with a number of players on this squad so far, which is one of the reasons why I keep selling them. Hemke now with the ball back out to Lino and over to Neuberg. Back to Schrock and Preisinger, and here we have something going to Costly on the wing, and see if he can find Trestuit with a cross. Back to Schrock. Let's slow it down a little bit. Preisinger now, and Preisinger takes another one of these shots. We need somebody playing midfield who will be willing to play a team game and not just blast the ball forward. I'm not quite sure I understand what he's doing. The game thinks that he has good match stats, so I think that that's oh, we're in trouble now. I think that the match stats are in part because of the shots on goal that he's been taking. I think it's a little bit overrated for a player that really should be passing the ball and playing on more of a support role. And with that, yeah, we're going to take Trestuit off. With this kind of poor performance, I'm really tempted to just sell him and get what money I can for him right now. I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous. I'm not sure who our scouts have found, if they found anybody who can play in that position or not, but we need to get something going. We need to have a striker who can actually score goals. And we should be scoring goals in this game instead of just sort of passing the ball back and forth. This has me a little bit concerned about our tactic, and we'll see what happens as we move forward. Patrick Schmidt, who I put on again as the substitute, is not exactly the super sub for us. He's another one of these journeyman type players, 28 years old. We're going to go positive here. He's 28 years old, and I'm not entirely sure what his future is. He's been a journeyman, played with a number of different teams from place to place, and that's kind of the way that it's been. I'm going to take off Preisinger, who's starting to tire a little bit. We'll put Farner on, and we'll see how we go. And my apologies as I clicked the wrong button once again. About 10 minutes left in this match. There is time for us to at least get something out of it other than a single point. We can't be drawing too many matches going forward because we want to win this league. We don't want to have a high mid-table finish. But as you see, there are no highlights. There's really not much going on. And it looks like this is going to be one of those board draws. And this is exactly the sort of thing that I was afraid of. You know, the funny thing about this is that my assistant manager told me before this game, one of the assistants at least, that we should probably play cautiously. I'm kind of happy that we didn't. We should have won that match, absolutely, and we're going to have a talk with Trestuit, who I think I am going to start fining. It's absolutely ridiculous a performance for somebody who should be dominating in this league, and we'll see how his future looks. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us today on Football Manager Projects. I wish I had a little more action to show you, but that's sort of the way that it is. We'll make a couple of adjustments here to this tactic. We might come on with something a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more attacking from now on, and we'll see where we go from here. And at least we aren't losing. It could be worse, and as those of you who've been on this channel for a while know, I've had a lot of experience with losing. Anyway, thank you very much for that. If you enjoyed that, please leave a like button. Please click the like button down below. Leave a comment. Hit the subscribe button as well. We have videos every single day, and we're going to keep doing this for a long time to come. And with that, I bid you adieu and take care. And one more thing, if you want Take a look down below at the link to the blog. You can read all about the story behind the save and learn about all of the wonderful and interesting things that are happening with this squad. And it's going to get more and more interesting as we start moving more of these players on and look abroad, perhaps for players who have a little bit more youth and a little bit more potential. And with that, see you tomorrow. Bye.